There's something intriguing about the way we live. We all know nothing lasts forever, and yet the heart insists on clinging to what slips away. If time carries everything with it, why do we keep filling our minds with worry? This sharp, simple question invites us to look more closely at how we think and feel. Does the fear of loss come from weakness or from the depth of our love? And does worrying so much really protect us from anything? The answers are clear. Fear doesn't reveal weakness. It reflects the value we place on what we love. But excessive worry doesn't stop future pain. It only steals the peace of the present. And here's an invitation. If this message resonates with you, like this content, share it with someone who needs to hear these words, and subscribe to keep reflecting on how to transform anxiety into clarity. Together, we can cultivate a lighter, awakened mind. The paradox of the restless mind. The contradiction is old. We know everything changes. We've heard it since childhood, but we live as if it were not true. It is in this gap between understanding and acceptance that suffering arises. A delayed message, a silence that lasts too long, an unexpected change of plans, all can trigger alarm. Montaigne once said his life had been filled with disasters, most of which never happened. The mind, trying to protect us, creates monsters that end up imprisoning us in constant vigilance. This instinct has deep roots. Our ancestors survived by staying alert to danger. Today, that same system reacts to emails, notifications, or awkward silences as if they were predators. But instead of keeping us safe, it plunges us into anxiety. The more we try to control what cannot be controlled, the more insecure we become. The Buddha's view on change. This is where Buddhism offers another perspective. The Buddha did not deny instability. He showed that suffering does not come from change itself, but from resistance to it. He said, "All conditioned things are impermanent. They arise and they pass away." Seeing this with wisdom, one is freed from suffering. Long before modern science proved everything is in motion, the Buddha observed that nothing remains. Bodies age, emotions shift, relationships transform. Pain comes when we try to freeze what is fluid. This illusion, born of ignorance, avidya, fuels attachment. Attachment, upadana, is the hand that tries to hold what cannot be held. The tighter we grasp, the more it hurts when change arrives. A goodbye, a loss, an unforeseen detail wounds us because we expected stability. The illusion of a permanent self. Another root of suffering lies in identity. We believe in a solid I, my body, my plans, my history. The Buddha taught anatta, not self. What we call I is only a stream of perceptions, memories, and biology constantly changing. When life contradicts the image we built, we feel threatened. Modern science agrees. The brain rewires itself constantly. Cells renew every moment. Even stars are born and die. Nothing is fixed. This should not lead to despair, but to freedom. Knowing is not enough. Even when we understand impermanence intellectually, we resist when it touches what we love. That's why the Buddha not only explained but offered a path, the Four Noble Truths. Recognize suffering, identify its cause, attachment, and distorted vision. Realize that freedom is possible, and walk the path that leads to it. This path doesn't mean giving up on life. It means living it with presence. It asks us to release the expectation of permanence, so change doesn't always feel like a shock. The meaning of letting go. Letting go isn't abandoning or becoming cold. It's simply not holding too tightly. It's like holding a bird. Too tight and you suffocate it, too loose and it flies away. Acceptance is not passivity, but acting without adding the mental weight of "this shouldn't be happening." Thich Nhat Hanh compared it to holding a hot coal. The heat burns, but what prolongs the pain is refusing to let it go. When we release, we act with clarity instead of resistance. The practice of presence worry lives in the future. What if I fail? What if I lose? Mindfulness, sati, brings us back to now. Walking, eating, breathing consciously, all simple practices that anchor us. When the thought arises, what if tomorrow goes wrong? We notice it's just a thought, not a prophecy. Insight meditation, vipassana, deepens this. In silence, we watch everything arise and fade. We don't just know impermanence, we feel it, and fear begins to dissolve. Wisdom and compassion, clarity, panya, asks, is this worth my peace? Can worry change the outcome? Most of the time, no. Shantideva reminded us, if a problem can be solved, act. If not, worry won't help. Compassion balances this wisdom. Worry locks us into my problem, my future, my pain. By seeing that everyone faces uncertainty, our burden lightens. Loving kindness, metta, is not only generosity, it's medicine for fear. The daily practice of letting go. Letting go is revealed in small choices. Planning without despair if plans change, loving while knowing time runs, acting without tying our worth to results. Even monks must practice daily. The goal is not to erase worry, but not to let it rule us. The Buddha said, there is no fear for one whose mind is free of desires. The less we cling, the less we fear. In that space, courage and serenity bloom. The hidden gift of impermanence. Some think, if everything ends, nothing matters. Buddhism turns it around. Because everything ends, everything matters. If a flower bloomed forever, we would stop noticing it. Beauty is born from its brevity. The Buddha's last words were, all compounded things are impermanent. Strive on with diligence. Not pessimism, but an invitation to awaken. Stoicism echoes this truth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, loss is only change, and change is nature's delight. When we stop fighting change, life becomes a story unfolding, not a possession. Trust in the flow. This doesn't mean pretending it doesn't hurt, but trusting we can ride each wave. Like bamboo bending in the wind, flexibility becomes strength. When worry dissolves, space opens, and in that space, compassion and meaning arise. A daily invitation. This awareness must be renewed daily. Many teachers suggest, upon waking, remind yourself, I am alive. This day is a gift. That changes everything. Fewer arguments, quicker forgiveness, more tenderness. Each choice can be illuminated by the question, if I had 1 year left, would this still matter? Most obsessions shrink under that light. As the Buddha said, better to live one day seeing the rise and fall of things than 100 years without ever perceiving it. To see impermanence is to wake up. Conclusion. So if life is fleeting, why suffer so much? Buddhism answers simply, we don't have to. Worry is a habit, not a destiny. Impermanence is not here to torment us, but to remind us what matters. To love deeply, live authentically, and let go when it's time. If these words touched you, don't keep them to yourself. Share this message, subscribe to receive more reflections like this, and help others find serenity amidst uncertainty. Every moment counts, and being present is the greatest gift we can offer ourselves and the world.